Okay, let's call the meeting to order. We have no, it's okay. Larry, you want to do the roll call?
Certainly. Mr. D'Amelio will not be here this evening. He has a commitment at work. Mrs. Hall?
Here.
Mr. Siegel?
Here.
Mr. Holmes?
Here.
Mr. McGarity, I believe, is on the way. Mr. Connell's on the way. Mr. Wexler?
Here.
Mr. Heilman?
Is on his way.
Is on transit. And
Yep.
Mr. Oliva. And Mr. Connell
Here.
is...
Mr. Connell's here also.
You're here?
Okay. Let us begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Chief?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have no registered speakers, so if anybody would like to speak on the budget, agenda items, Gary, join us. Thank you. Let's keep it at 3 minutes, Gary.
All right, I think I can.
Okay.
All right, good evening. If anybody is watching, hi there. There's only 2 or 3 of us in the audience, and this is a budget hearing. I think it affects everybody. We've got 45,000 plus residents in this town, and I would love to see more people take an interest in this. These guys have a hard enough job as it is, but I think it's upon everybody to provide some kind of feedback on this budget. So I'd like to also thank Larry for putting together a nice presentation, which we'll then see, and that's on the website, so everybody can check it. If I understood correctly, right now we're proposing to increase our property taxes by 6%. Is that
No, that's not correct.
approximate?
Correct.
Okay.
That's not correct.
Because in the budget on this that you're going to show here, I think it says 6% increase in property taxes from
Does that say
2013 to
6%?
2014.
Well, you'll see the property tax, but that's actually not the tax increase. It's offset by other revenue.
Okay, all right. So I'm not sure what the final number is, but I think if it's more than 1 or 2%, it's certainly more than we should be trying to bear. I do think that we should, and I've mentioned this last year and the year before, that we should try to go to the 1-day-a-week trash. And I know that's in your presentation, Larry, the effects of that. I know many of us do not, especially with the recycling, do not need more than once a week trash pickup. The recycling is more than the trash is, and it's great. I mean, it's great to recycle it. The other thing is I think we should try to get the 503Cs, these nonprofits, to provide some contribution in lieu of taxes. A lot of municipalities have done this for years. We provide a lot of services, a lot of things for them. They would be people such as the Haverford College, some of the private schools, and of course the YMCA, which is considered a luxury health club at this point. But all of these institutions should be approached and asked to pay tax money, yearly funds in lieu of paying property taxes. It shouldn't be a free ride for them. They're not charities. And then the last thing is I think that we should take an effort to, over the next 3 to 4 years, start to look at and reduce our police department. Nothing personal to the police force. They're a great force, but I believe we have too many police. Our costs, I think, are close to 1 out of every $3 that we pay in taxes, I believe, is close to that for the police. With everything with the municipal obligations and the salaries and the equipment. So I would like to see us evaluate that and try to look at reducing that through either attrition and or no hiring. And I think that then we could also try to reflect that in the new police building and try to reduce the program of that. And some other things about the library, but I'll wait till next week to talk about that.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else on the budget? There being none, let us go to number 3, the budget hearing. Would you like to make a motion, Larry?
Yeah, I would. I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me.
There you go.
Mr. President. Mr. President, I move we adopt as an ordinance a preliminary general fund, sewer fund, and capital fund budget, including all taxes, fees, service charges, and other revenue sources provided within all funds for 2014.
Second.
Motion made and seconded.
Mr. President,
Go ahead.
at this point, I would ask our township manager, with the assistance of our township finance director, to present their presentation on the 2014 preliminary budget.
Larry, go ahead.
Great, thank you. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, management, and the entire staff, the 2014 proposed budget document is prepared, and I am pleased to present the document to the community this evening. Like previous years, this budget represents a continuation of the Board of Commissioners' commitment to building and investing in a high-quality community that effectively does and provides for a broad range of public health, police, EMS, fire, and community services, maintains the township roads, our parks, and our infrastructure, protects our natural environment, coordinates and continual residential and business growth and development, and maintains a vibrant set of recreational assets and services our residents have come to enjoy. Similar to last year and following some of the most difficult economic conditions in some time, the 2014 budget planning process started the first week of August, as it does in the past few years. And again, was another intensive technical review and analysis of the township's budgetary revenue and expenditure trends. Addressing revenue shortfalls from taxes and basic revenue sources is a theme for governments across Commonwealth and the United States. I'm proud to say we've made numerous and very significant changes to the operation of this township, and we have saved millions in tax dollars. At this time, we have no alternative but to consider future elimination of services and to continue to reduce expenses. With the community makeup of ours, we have very little to no means of obtaining revenue other than increasing taxes. As this board knows very well, management has changed the way we do business here in Haverford Township, and we have reduced expenses. Haverford and Marple were and continue to be the only townships that share resources and equipment. Two particular programs that have saved our residents thousands of dollars each year is our leaf collection program and our brine program. And I'll talk more about those as I move on into the program. In the past few years, we have eliminated over $5 million from operating expenses. I challenge any prior administration to come even close to the amount of reductions that my management team have set forth to this township. Over $1.7 million in salaries and benefits by eliminating 17 full-time positions and 9 part-time positions. Due to the new laws and the impact of our communities throughout the United States, we'll be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars more each year by reducing part-time employees below 30 hours per week. And again, I'll explain that as we move on. We have consolidated services such as our 911 system, saving over $500,000 a year. We've changed the way we do our leaf collection. We have eliminated our fire marshal and our emergency management office. We've consolidated our codes and our health and human services. We have also increased employee contributions towards medical and pension. We have eliminated the defined pension program for all new hires. Employees are paying more towards their pension and health care. Haverford Township continues to be one of the largest communities in the Commonwealth. Fifth largest, to be fifth first-class largest in Commonwealth, to be exact. We maintain over 165 miles of roads, 149 miles of sanitary, 200 miles of storm lines, and over 200 storm inlets. Each and every day, our management staff evaluates their services to determine the future of these programs. The proposed budget before you this evening represents the most cost-effective operating plan to effectively provide for the essential services to our residents. Okay, as you see before you're here, we're looking at our 2014 revenues. The primary source of revenue for Pennsylvania townships is local taxes. Taxes provide for 50%, over 50% of revenues for most of the first-class townships in the Commonwealth. Haverford being a bedroom community, our taxes make up approximately 55 to 57% of the total budget, and we've been staying consistent with that all along. The 6% increase in ratables is due to the ratables I'm sorry, the 6% increase is due to the tax and in ratables. And that's why you see that 6% there. Local enabling tax is due to Amy's success in providing more business tax compliance and collections for new businesses, such as the quarry, and has increased real estate transfer taxes. Our licensing and permit and fines are up par with previous years. The interest in rents, as you see there, is from the land lease, which is from the 2014 our YMCA. Grants and gifts is up and carrying over because we're carrying over our county aid liquid fuels. We get approximately, Amy, I believe it's $66,000 a year.
Yeah, so we'll have 2 years
Yeah.
in 2014.
We no longer put our, from a lesson learned, we no longer put our county liquid fuels towards our road programs. We're actually going to save that for improvements in other parts of the township. Therefore, we have a program you'll see in the capital. We'll do some capital improvements on our storm and sewer lines along Hathaway Lane, and we're going to be putting that roughly $130,000 towards that. That's why you see that's up. Departmental earnings is up from an is up from increase in trash fees. Stadium revenues is up slightly due to rental in our public stadium, and other income refunds is such as our employee health and insurance payments. And the fund transfers is up $100,000. That's being carried over from 2013 since we received an additional $100,000 in pension aid than we anticipated. And this slide basically is just a graph to kind of show you, again, our real estate taxes always make up, and that number has been pretty consistent. Departmental earnings, again, has been up a little bit. So this picture is pretty much a blueprint of last year's revenues. General fund expenses. First one there, we're looking at auxiliary functions. Auxiliary functions is up mainly because of our retired health care and prescription costs. As you know, that we actually, when our employees retire, we cover them, both the husband and wife, between the ages of 60 to 62. From 62 to 65, it's just an employee, and then after 65, it's supplemental. So that's pretty much why you'll see an increase in auxiliary functions. All the other departments under auxiliary are pretty much holding the same as last year. Number two, cable, pretty much the same. We have a little bit of money budgeted to make some equipment upgrades, but it's pretty much on par with last year. Codes enforcement. Mostly the increase in codes you will see is due to salary, insurance, and they're actually down 1 FTE. We eliminated 4 full-time positions out of this year's proposed budget, which is a savings of close to $400,000. So we had 1 employee that retired in the codes department, was a health officer, and we have reduced or eliminated that position, saving significant dollars, or that codes department would be up. We, just to go back a little history, one of the initiatives that I made a number of years ago, when I took over this position, we had a health department that consisted of a director, a secretary, 2 health inspectors, and a full-time animal control. Comparing other townships such as Radnor, Lowell Marion, Marple Township, we were well overstaffed. So through retirements and reductions, we're down to now 1 health inspector and 1 part-time animal control. So we've saved significant dollars over the last few years making those changes. You'll see debt interest and debt principal, and you'll see that there is Let me grab that slide here. Debt interest is our debt from our previous loan. Amy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that is structured with a lower repayment in the first year in 2014. Our 2015 will actually go up approximately $219,000. So that's the way that loan was structured. That's why you'll see that there is very little principal the first year. Okay, so the principal will start paying in 2015. Emergency medical services is up 3.4%. And get to that particular one here. Emergency medical services, again, we have a slight increase, and that's mainly due to, again, the increase in insurance, the contracted salary increase for the staff. That staff goes, again, for the paid personnel that we staff for both Lanark and Manoa Fire Companies, as well as the paramedic department, but operations pretty much holding its own. The only additional expense you'll see in the paramedic budget is a vehicle that they're due for replacement, which is a responder vehicle. I believe that's roughly $37,000. We have also reduced out of the paramedic budget another full-time position. That's the second full-time position, and that'll be out of the paramedic department. And again, that's through an employee who left. We didn't replace that employee, again, saving money, or we'll be up. The other thing that I want to make note in the emergency medical services budget is we committed not, because this board is aware of, I'm still doing research on what the future of our EMS is going to look like in 2015. So I committed not to increase the yearly service charge for the emergency medical technicians to both Lanark and Manoa. So they'll be paying the 2013 rates, and that's pretty much why you'll see that contributes to that 3.4% increase. Finance.
I'm sorry. So there's not going to be any changes till 2015? Is that what you're...
For emergency medical services?
Yeah.
I don't anticipate making any drastic changes to the way we're providing services till either late 2014 or early 2015.
All right.
I'm still doing a lot of, as this board knows, pretty much that's been I've been the township manager since 2007. Hopefully I've proven myself in the decisions I made, and I'm going to be talking about a lot about the changes, the way we do business here in the township, and some of the major initiatives that I introduced to the township that had saved that $5 million. But I have 35 years of experience in emergency medical services. That's it. I know that, and it's a program that every day. There's not one day that goes by in this township that our volunteer fire companies and our ambulance service and our paramedics don't save a life. Not one day doesn't go by, and I take that real serious. I assess, as well as Amy, there's not a day that doesn't go by that we don't assess every department and the way we provide, and our history has to show that, the way we provide the services. Emergency medical services and the fire service and the police services are no different. Our public safety is what I believe the most important aspect of community. We provide life safety first. So,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no, we'll talk more about that as we move on. Finance. I'm taking a little bit more time explaining the expenses. Hopefully, I'm trying to address all your questions. The only thing that we have in finance would be again, just like every department that we've had and you'll see it when we go over the issues that are affecting our operating budget, is healthcare reform has had a big impact on every township in the Commonwealth throughout the nation. healthcare insurance is up, so that's going to have an impact. All of our insurance is up, general liability, so it has a small impact. We had a slight increase to make some computer and software upgrades in finance, and you'll see that our audit fees are down. But I want to make a special note saying our tax collection fee is up because of the outstanding job that our tri-state, our collections, and which is, Amy, I believe you said was $600,000 over this year?
Yes, yes. That is one area too. As we go through this, we find little errors that need to be corrected. And in the final, the tax collection fee is overstated. That'll only be $60,000. So the total budget for finance will be $490,789. There is no health insurance benefits in the finance department. The employees charged to the finance department, including myself, do not take the medical. So that'll be $490,789 instead of the $520,789 that's showing.
Thanks, Amy. Fire service again is holding its own. We're continuing to give our volunteer fire companies a stipend of $63,000 a year. We upgraded some of their pagers this year, and we also have some monies in the budget to upgrade the additional pagers for them for 2014 as well. We've made, with the Public Works Department, we're working to make some minor improvements to the fire training